Good evening, and this is a case study for EDL853. Of course, my name is Michael Grant. In this case, we are dealing with star football Miguel of the Dover Unified School District, who was paralyzed in a football game and will be confined to a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Miguel was honored with an award for his contributions to the school in terms of his football accolades. He is also a very high-functioning student, maintained his grades while doing physical therapy, and is ready to return to school. Upon returning to school, he found out he was moved from his biology class, which is a prerequisite for his college entrance, which he is still planning on doing. And his parents were not notified that this would be happening. In response, parents have sought legal representation to deal with this issue. So, of course, there are some legal and ethical issues for both of these. Legal, of course, is the violation of the student's right to an appropriate education, violation of the ADA in regards to wheelchair accessibility, and failing to contact the parents about child's schooling. Ethical issues, lack of professionalism, lack of adequate planning, lack of a 504, as well as untrained staff in terms of legal issues involving disability acts. Synthesize, Nottingham High star football player has become paralyzed due to an on-field accident and is now returning to a school that is not adequately prepared for his return to school, and finds themselves paying for ignoring much-needed updates to prepare to meet the needs of all students. Synthesize facts: Miguel, a paralyzed student, Miguel's parents and their attorney, principal, Miss Guzman, the school counselor, are all the people involved. The place is the community of Dover, Nottingham High School, 3,200 students roughly in the building. Fourth of the building is not up to code. However, it does reside in a highly supported community, especially in football. The program is highly supported at the district and community level, great football program, as well as college prep courses. Conflict here is between Nottingham High and Miguel's family. This can be devastating to the community as well as Miguel due to his elevated status in his athletic abilities. Individuals, the community, Miguel, and the school district all have an important stake in this situation, and all stakeholders have been updated on the situation with the exception of the superintendent. The one thing I would need, really, I'd love to have actually, would be a course catalog so I know what science classes were offered so that we could maybe provide some different options. However, with that, I still feel like we have enough information to make a decision. Option 1, the do nothing approach, in which we maintain the schedule change is right and nothing changes for Miguel, and this is going to be a massive risk, and take that lawsuit is just a bluff and continue as is. Option 2 is a radical approach, would be to fire the counselor for negligence, then reinstate Miguel into the biology class after moving the class into a classroom that has wheelchair access. While this is happening, also moving funds so that all the buildings could be brought up to code if needed, to make staff cuts and to other programs as well, if need be, to avoid the lawsuit at all costs. Option 3, the delay option, I would start by apologizing for the oversight and not informing the parents of this change in schedule. Explain the district needs more funds to get the buildings up to code. While this is not Miguel's problem, it does directly affect him. I would propose taking a different science course this semester if another unit of biology is not available in a handicap-accessible classroom. Then would continue to talk to the SPED department about developing a 504 plan for Miguel to make sure this avoids happening again. Option 4, change the senior option. This option would move classrooms around and move Miguel back into the biology classroom while also moving it into another classroom. Developing a 504, of course, is going to be standard on the next 3 options. Last option, of course, would be to move Miguel back into the biology classroom, setting up a temporary solution by having a shop class build a wooden ramp to the building as a temporary solution. I would then go to the community and booster club to come up with a fundraiser or charity event to acquire the funds for the new ramps and access to all needed buildings, involving as many people in the community as possible, as well as developing that 504 plan. Option 1, pros. Easy option for administration. Bad news, lawsuit. It's going to happen. Does not provide for the student. Negligent in terms of the principal's jobs, will result in firing as well as the lawsuit going through. And let's be honest, they'll win. Option 2, solves the problem for Miguel. Avoids the lawsuit, establishes the view that negligence will not be tolerated in the building, and it gives those much needed updates. Con is firing staff is never easy. The cost will be enormous, and the money shell game of moving things around is never a good solution because that leads you up to more problems down the line. Option 3 solves a student issue, avoids a lawsuit. The delay tactic allows for further resolution to the problem in the future. However, this doesn't provide for the student in the way as being requested, so it may not go through. And it passes the buck down the line and makes it somebody else's problem in the future, and does not guarantee a solution that is acceptable to the parents. Option 4 solves a problem for Miguel, avoids a lawsuit, allows for the avoidance of the issue in the future. However, moves the needs of the many get pushed aside for the needs of the few in terms of having to change classrooms for a number of students, probably at least 2 or 3 classrooms full of students. It's not an ideal solution for staff members. It may not be a suitable classroom ready and accessible for Miguel. Option 5 solves a student issue, avoids a lawsuit, involves the community members, which is a great thing to do as much as possible. Gives real-world experience for shop class, in desperate need for that to help for further job training, and a fundraiser that can bring the community members together during a tragedy. Will take some time. Temporary solution may not suffice the parents. Funds raised may still not be enough to fully fund the needed improvements and may draw unwanted attention to Miguel's new disability. With all that in mind, I think the option number 5 is the best. I feel by spinning this off as a chance to make Miguel more into the community will help ease the tensions and furthermore show the high quality of this community, and I feel it's the most creative option available. Action plan. The first step would be to approach Miguel's family with a proposal. If they don't accept this, another option has to be chosen. Assuming they accept the proposal, I would have already had the shop teacher and his students busy building the ramp prior to even having this discussion. Installation of the ramp should allow them. Installation of the ramp should then allow Miguel to take his biology class. During the coming weeks, have the SPED staff craft a 504 plan to make sure this is avoided in the future. Step 5, take time to remind the counseling staff to not move any more students without parental approval. Give students a minimum of get quotes from the minimum of 3 construction companies in the area for the needed additions to the building. And number 7, next step would be to start communicating with the boosters and fundraising groups to start the plans for raising the future funds needed. And lastly, after fundraisers, make sure the needed changes get taken place with whatever needs be for the funds. Thank you and have a great night.